Hey, everybody, listen. This is episode 1562, where we were going to do immigration, and something happened.
And we're not doing it.
But wait. So before I got in the car to come here to the studio, we were doing immigration. By the way, welcome to Between the Laughs with Carlos Mencia and Gabe Lopez. So listen, right before I got in the car, it was going to be immigration. Then we got in the car, and it became something about a friend of ours that had an experience that we wanted to talk about. It was like, ooh, that's important. And then when we got here to the studio, Jimmy Kimmel shows got suspended because of comments that he made. And now everybody's trying to figure out. So now we got to get on that and get on words and get on. Okay, here's what incites me about this. Number one, how words have an effect on people, right? So you got to be careful, like of things that you say and things that you do, in the sense that you want to be taken from the right perspective, right? When you say edgy stuff or stuff that's out there, just make sure that you say it in the exact way that you mean it, or else it gets taken out of context and blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, nobody can make you do something with words that you don't want to do.
Correct.
Right? Now, and I can understand the incendiary. So let's get something out of the way right here so we can continue this conversation. Because if not,
it's going to be really vague.
It's going to be really vague. So we have to understand that we have freedom of speech. You just have to understand that we have freedom of speech and that you can say things you want that are not incendiary. So we're talking about right now things that you say that are outside of go kill that person, go shoot that person. If you ever see one of those people on the street, punch them in the fucking face, okay? That kind of stuff, any kind of call to action, we're not talking about that. Let me look into the camera and say that again. That's not the shit we're talking about. So please don't respond with, but he said go, then that's illegal. We're not talking about illegal speech. And for you people that don't know, so there are templates, right, of this. So the way I remember freedom of speech being spoken about, right, is freedom of speech can be exercised right up until you say something that inevitably hurts somebody else. And I don't mean hurts their feelings. It's the crowded theater and you yell out fire and somebody gets trampled to death on the way out because of, the people going out. That's illegal. That's not, you can say, I was being funny. Doesn't matter. That is illegal.
I have a bomb at the airport. Don't do that.
Right. And so we're not talking about that. We are going to exercise in speaking of freedoms of speech that do not pass that line. Just so we get it. All right. Now we got it out. So I read, like, according to the comments of Jimmy, it didn't seem like he said anything incendiary. What did you think about the comments?
I thought he was stating an opinion, and an opinion that a lot of people happen to have, because he was talking about maybe obviously the Charlie Kirk thing is really hot right now. That the person that shot Charlie Kirk, his family was really pro MAGA and really pro Trump, and so this just helps them. Is that I think that from the few headlines I read, I'm just talking about the headlines I read, it seems to be the topic or the direction they're going.
Yeah. You know what's fucking funny to me, dude? How human beings, we just recycle shit over and over again outside of it. This conversation that we're having, it used to be back in the day, you and me in the 80s, and I remember because I used to do a joke about this, 30 people shot, or we caught a serial killer, and every black and Latino, bro. But from just our perspective, it was like, please don't be one of us. Please don't be one of us.
The high-speed chases, because they'd be on TV almost every other day, and I'd be sitting with my parents. Don't be Latino. Don't be Latino. Don't.
Right.
He's Samoan. Yay, we're all
Right,
saved.
right. But by the way, it wasn't that we were glad he was Samoan, right? It wasn't that we were glad.
We were just glad it wasn't us.
Yes, it was just a relief. It was, excuse me. It was just oh fuck, like we don't have enough shit.
That we're blamed for.
Like we don't have enough things that we got on our plates that we're not already all undocumented. That we're already like every person that looks like you and me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like earlier today, I had this discussion with somebody on a podcast about, why I love South Florida. All right, I'm going to be there this weekend. And one of the reasons I love South Florida, Brad, is because you and I grew up in the same kind of environment where we know people that speak Spanish and always did as kids. But we also know a lot of families that never spoke Spanish to their kids. That they're Mexican by only, like my dad's dad was born there type of thing.
Yeah.
They don't speak Spanish. And the reason is, and I can understand this. If somebody goes, hey, ¿qué de dónde eres? ¿Qué pasó? I'm sorry, man. I don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak O.
I don't know what you're saying. Oh, we're not talking to you. Like, I can understand that. But it also made me kind of like, should I be ashamed that I speak Spanish?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Should I feel weird about it?
Yeah.
And then I remember going to South Florida, and I met this four group of guys that we're still friends now. We're still friends to this day. This is who I was talking to on the way here. That's one of my friends that I met way back in the day, the first times I performed there. And he speaks Spanish. Well, they all speak Spanish. None of them, they're all white guys who speak Spanish. One of them we call Cablinasian, Cabby, because he has one of everything. He's like part Caucasian, part black, part African American, part Asian, part indigenous.
Cablinasian?
Cablinasian.
Cablinasian.
I think it was coined way back in the day when they were trying to figure out what the fuck Tiger Woods was.
Yeah.
And I think they said Cablinasian, so we call him Cablinasian, so we call him Cabby. But anyway, I discovered this place where speaking Spanish is not only looked upon with a positive note.
It's expected.
It's expected. And these guys were like, oh, yeah, if you don't speak Spanish here, man. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, you're going to a restaurant y tienes que saber la ropa vieja. And you're like, what? You can speak Spanish. I remember. But outside of that, it was, be aware. You might get kicked out. You don't know who you are. So I remember the shame I felt, bro. Especially as a comedian, too. Because I was doing jokes about, white people are serial killers. White people are crazy. Anytime I think my joke was like, you know the difference between a white crime and a Latino crime. Old lady gets hit over the head with a brick for, her food stamp check.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to claim that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be me or Leroy. Me or Leroy probably did that. You know what I mean? Man hits a woman with a brick, eats her.
That's not us.
That's not us. That's
not us.
No. We will eat the asshole of a cow.
Yeah.
We will eat the tail of a pig. We will eat the snout of a whatever. We're not eating a human being. So that was it. And I remember when Richard Ramirez,
the Night Stalker,
was being, once we found out he was Latino guy named Richard Ramirez. And then they showed a picture of him. He looked like every fucking bearded Mexican family member we ever had.
Yeah.
Like every rocker guy that just grew a little bit of beard. The Mexican Judas Priest guy.
I honestly thought, like, as a kid, when that was big, I thought he looked like the lead singer of Los Bukis.
Yeah. Marco Antonio Solis. Oh, my God, yes.
It's like a famous Spanish band like that. I'm like, Mom, Dad, is that the lead singer of your favorite band?
Right. But that turned into a great joke afterwards, because most people don't know this or don't remember. He got caught in the hood.
Yeah.
So he got caught in East LA.
Yeah.
And they were beating his ass so bad that when cops showed up, he thanked the police for saving his life. Because that group of Mexicans they were gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And they were gonna kill him not just because he was a pedophile, which already, but it was almost like, dude, oh my God, I wish I would have thought it. Well, I don't know if it would have, like, there was a guy, but You remember how we used to do jokes, and a lot of comedians did this because a lot of parents did this, where they would hit you and tell you why they're hitting you at the same time as they're hitting you. Like my mom would do that every once in a while. Esto es porque yo te dije que no puedas atrás. And you're like, God damn, could you use shorter sentences, bitch?
Can we cliff notes this, Mom? Can we cliff notes this?
Can we do the short version of this fucking talk, please? But there was that. I wonder if when we caught Richard Ramirez, they were doing that. I wonder if like, this is for the fact that you did that to the girl. And then go on top of that, you made us look like Latinos. Like,
I still remember that time my mom and dad, like normally it's like we grew up in Orange County, so the weather was nice in the summer. And so we just have the windows open. Nope. Windows closed, locked, everything. I remember my parents, like we could not have a window open, nothing unlocked the way we knew. I remember it was a big deal when Richard Ramirez was out and about, and because he was L.A., Orange County. I think he did like San Gabriel. I think he did Riverside. He was just finding a spot where it was convenient for him to kill somebody. He had no rhyme or reason on his murders.
No.
He just wanted to murder people.
Well, at first, he was just staring at chicks sleeping. Yeah. You know, he broke into a few houses, and then it escalated.
Were they all women that he killed? I don't. I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was stalking women. But my point being, to not get fully off track, is that I understand the MAGA people wanting it not to be theirs. I understand the anti-MAGA people going, he's one of yours, not ours. I understand that sentiment because we've lived it. What I don't understand is I was never happy, as we said. You know, I never went, thank God he was white. Thank God that guy was black.
No, we were just happy he wasn't one of us.
Just happy.
That's it.
Right?
We weren't trying to point fingers. We were just trying to not get the finger pointed at us.
Yeah.
That's it.
We were the person in the United Colors of Benetton ad that was like, I don't know who did it. I just can tell you, check the DNA, bitch. Yeah. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Right? That's where we were. So I grasp that concept. The concept that I don't grasp is this concept of taking it to the other side now. That, it must be you. We have no idea who the fuck it is. We have no idea who this guy is yet, what he is. Did he do a manifesto? Is he saying, like, things are coming out? I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's dating a trans, so he's not MAGA because he's anti-MAGA, even though his parents are MAGA. Maybe he's mad at his parents, or maybe he's mad at Trump for his parents. Maybe he's doing that deflection thing where it's like, oh, yeah, my parents hate me, but they hate me because of Trump. It's not my parents. So instead of putting it on his parents, instead of shooting, and I'm not saying he should have shot his parents. That's not what I'm saying. But it's one of those things where it's like, wait a minute, your parents are the ones, if this is the case, theoretically, if your parents are the ones being a dick because you're dating a trans, why the fuck are you blaming somebody else for that shit? Blame your goddamn parents. I know it's hard. I have parents. They're not perfect. You know what I mean?
But you and I both know there's so many people that will never take the blame, will never accept responsibility. It's somebody else's fault that I am the way I am, the way he is, the way he is. It's not his fault that he's trans. Whose fault is it? Do we just blame the parents? Even though the parents did a hell of a job and they have 5 kids and the other 4 are perfect?
Right.
And what's considered perfect?
Right.
Just because trans, does he have 10 fingers and 10 toes? Is he healthy?
Well, he's not even trans. I think he's dating a trans, supposedly.
Okay, so now that person's a trans. Is that the issue? And that's why I wanted to shoot somebody?
Yeah, I have no idea. But this whole, we talked about this on the last episode, this whole fucking John Wick mentality of we shoot you and get away with it and that the problem is done. That's not the way the world works. I mean, I'm sure, and this is just coming from a historical perspective, but I'm sure that all back in the day, the Jewish elders were like, let's just get rid of the problem. You killed Jesus, problem goes away.
Yeah.
Really? Is that what you think is going to happen? If you would have let him just perform his act, throughout the Middle East, maybe he would just be known as the Copperfield of his day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it would just be a guy who performed some amazing magical acts that we now go, oh, he walked on water, or did he know where the rocks were, type of thing. I don't know. But in killing him, they created a religion, which is billions of people strong years later. An event so enormous in humankind that we literally tell time. by the date of his death, right? AC and like,
Yeah.
wow, BC before Christ and AC, right? Like
Yeah.
after death. AD and you have, so AD and BC and AD. So there you go. Yeah. After death, before Christ. Crazy. So these people are doing this, and we're all pointing fingers as if, and Jimmy Kimmel show gets suspended, and it's not even vague. It just sounds like what he said was, yeah, he might be MAGA, and if it is, they don't want him to, you know. But one question: because I think, yeah, I think some late show retired hosts have actually said, you know, you shouldn't engage in right or wrong or right or left. Make jokes about it, right?
But don't take a side.
Right. Don't pick a side. How do you feel about, you know, like Colbert, who took a side and gets canceled, right? But the top guy doesn't really, you know, talk about. Fallon doesn't really go there, right?
No.
He's the one guy that doesn't go there.
No, he does clips.
Right. So the two shows that go there, one of them is canceled, and the other one right now just got indefinitely suspended.
Yeah.
And the one that's left is the one that talks about nothing. Now, I love the fact that there are shows that talk about nothing, just like, or whatever, you know, mundane stuff, you know, where did the socks go type stuff, you know, why do these type of sweaters itch? I get it. You're middle class, and those are the things that you want to worry about. That's cool.
And my guest has a movie coming out on Friday. Tell us about the movie. And don't forget to watch this movie.
Right.
That's it. Just nothing news.
Right. So you feel like they shouldn't, you know, they shouldn't engage in that?
It's influence. You know, that's like I've never cared who the president was.
Because that's what Jay Leno said, by the way.
Yeah.
Jay Leno was like, it's these guys' fault. They shouldn't be going there.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing partisan.
No.
They shouldn't, like, nobody knows how I voted. And I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Me too, by the way. Like, I'm glad that you don't know if I have people that are like, dude, I know you're a fucking Republican at heart. And then the other side is like, bro, thank you for being on our side as liberals. I love the fact that they both feel that way, because that's exactly what I want. You talked about this the other day, bringing up like my joke about I'm both.
Yeah. Because we don't want to alienate our audience. Nor should these talk show hosts that now it's like our shows are in the hundreds of people or in the low thousands. They're talking about millions of people that they can influence.
Yeah.
And that's why like I never agreed when like going back to like when before Bill Clinton got elected and he's going on the Arsenio Hall show. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's trying to influence people to vote for him.
Right.
And that was the way that worked. And this is before social media. Now we got Twitter, and Twitter came out, and then
People don't know this, by the way, to interject, actually. Bill Clinton was dubbed that night the first black president because he went on stage,
played the saxophone,
he played the saxophone with the band.
Yeah.
And he just had soul, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he had
sunglasses.
soul.
He put on sunglasses and played a saxophone with the band.
He blues brothered it, and it wasn't like he was going.
No, he knew what he was doing.
He was like, it was like, you go check it out. I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet. I think that it's just gone too far in the direction of people saying, I can say whatever I want, and being cruel and saying hurtful things. And in the opposite direction, you know, being so influenced by words that you think it's okay to turn it into violence.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to turn it into something mad. As far as I know, even conservatives that are on radio have never said hurt a trans.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever been said by those people. Go kill a trans, go punch a trans in the dick.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. What they do say is things like, I don't want my daughter to play basketball against somebody that was born with a dick and balls. I don't have a daughter, but I have 11 sisters, and they're pretty much all, except for one of them, older than me. So I know the difference between men and women. I know the difference physiologically between what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
I lived it, all right? I lived in that house where as a teenager, Mijo, they can't do it, mijo. You have to go back in the backyard and take care of that, mijo. You're the man of the house now. Your father's not here. I'm 15, 14, 15 years old. And I go, okay, this was my sister trying to go mend this fence and going now I'm sure there are women that can mend fences. I'm not saying that, but there is a physiological difference. So do I think it's fair for a person physiologically born bigger, stronger, more bone density, more muscle density to go up against a complete born cisgender female who doesn't have any of those hormones, who doesn't have any of that benefit? No, I don't think so. Do I think it's fair that transgender athletes kind of almost have no place to exist? Because if you're a female transgender, they're not going to let you on the boys team, are they? And if they do, you want to be a girl, so I get it, but you're physiologically, quote unquote, different, and in a way that is beneficial to you in this specific way. Again, not fair, right? But this is where that problem lies with the transgender community.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I look at it this way. For me, it's really simple. Somebody's going to get fucked over in this. It's either going to be trans women who aren't allowed to be a woman because they're also taking hormone blockers, so they're not as strong as men as well. They're kind of tween.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They're not full on men.
Yeah.
They have female hormones, so they're leaning toward the femininity, but they're not completely feminine, not completely masculine, just from a physiological standpoint, right? Yeah. Just from a doctor standpoint.
Just science.
Just pure science.
Just science.
So this is why I looked at it. I go, look, we're either going to fuck over a lot of transgenders or fuck over a very insignificant, small amount of, not insignificant, wrong word, a very small amount of women. To me, it's like, who do you think should be fucked over? Right? That's what it is. It's like, it's kind of like, I understand white America with regards to, affirmative action. I get it. What it is it's trying to make up for hundreds of years of you can't own property, you can't speak Spanish, you got all these restrictions, you can't be a lawyer, you can't be a this, you can't be a that, you can't be a dentist, you're Latino, so all of that, I'm going to hire my friend. Oh, it's not because he's white, my friend just happens to be white. Well, yeah, all your friends are fucking white.
Yeah.
So you're just going to hire your friends, you know what I mean? So did affirmative action take jobs away from white America? Yes! That was the whole fucking point of it. It wasn't personal to you as a white person. It was your ancestors fucked over these people so much and gave no opportunities that now we're going to take an opportunity from you and give it to them. But it's just what was done from back in the day. This is balancing out the scales, or that's what at least the attempt was, to balance out the scales of, if you hadn't said black people can't go to school, black people can't learn English, black people are slaves, black people are subservient, Mexicans are dumber. If that didn't exist, where would all these people be? Where would the African American culture and community be if it were not for slavery and all that? And the Latino / very Mexican community back in the day, who was looked at like, you can't come in here because you're Mexican. That's what affirmative action was all about. Was it fucking you over, David, who has nothing to do with it because you were born in 1970? No, you were not it. But you're paying the price of your ancestors. Just like he and I pay the price as Latinos for the shit that our people do. Henceforth, we're sitting there going, please, God, please don't let him be one of us.
Yes.
Please don't let that shit, the legacy of it. So with regards to this, that's how I see the transgender whole thing. And I get it. What I don't get is, I've been hit on by transgenders. You've seen me, by the way, get hit on by gays.
Yeah.
Like at karaoke, you've seen some gay dudes come in and then get all close to me and get all chummy and get a little more physical than should be. I take it as a compliment. I'm actually like, I'm a 57-year-old dude who's not really fit, and this young gay guy wants to bone me or wants me to bone him. Nice.
How lucky are
How
we?
lucky am I? Man, Jesus, you communicate in mysterious ways, dog. you, I don't understand the anger. I don't understand where the they should not exist comes from. These are genetic abnormalities that will never go away. And here's another thing I don't understand. The whole choice thing. I don't believe that somebody gets told, listen, if you're a transgender, all of this negative shit is going to happen. You might get stabbed. You might get killed. Attacks against you exponentially go up. Once you get attacked once, you're bound to get attacked more than once. And the chances of you getting attacked as a transgender as opposed to normal people is small if you're normal, regular, huge if you're blah, 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 blah. And by the way, I said normal. And if you want to know what we meant, we did a whole fucking episode on the word normal and the norm. But, you know, it's not going to stop. And I don't understand how people that can accept palsy, a genetic disorder, can accept genetic abnormalities like that, can't imagine that somebody was born with a female brain and a male body, or vice versa, or with a wantingness to be attracted to somebody of the same sex. I don't see those as different. Do you see those as different in any way?
I know I'm part of the problem because I don't care. It doesn't affect my life. Like, for example, palsy. You know a lot about palsy because you know somebody in your family that has palsy.
Correct.
I don't. So you have a much better education on that than I do.
Right.
I had a nephew that had open heart surgery, so I had to learn about that. So there's something I learned. So, like, you know, like these poor parents you see on the St. Jude commercials, they probably knew nothing about child cancer until they had a kid with child cancer.
The first time they probably ever heard of whatever that specific cancer is, probably the first time is when their kid got diagnosed.
Yes.
You know, that's what? Mesothelioma?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What is that? Yeah. It's a rare cancer that only occurs in blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, but going back to what we were talking about is like, okay, going back to Kim getting canceled. I think that shutting people's voices up, having a physical reaction to what somebody says because you disagree with them is just arrogant. It's arrogant in the sense that, so you're the one that gets to fucking say it with the rest of us.
Who made the decision to cancel? That's who I want to know. Who made the decision to shut down the voice? When anybody's voice, whatever your opinion is, there are millions of people that agree with you and millions of people that disagree with you. Vice versa with me. I have my own opinions. There are people that agree with me, people that don't agree with me. We don't make that public because our job is to make people smile.
Right.
And yeah, we'll take something dumb that Trump said, for example, or Joe Biden, which you do both. You have you prove you prove your non-affiliation to either side by making fun of both sides.
Right. Because that's our job. My job isn't to find what's right or wrong about the president. My job is to point out whatever funny shit happens that we can all like sit there and agree with. My thing is, if I can get a Trumper and an anti-Trumper in the same room laughing at the same shit, I hope that they can at one point have a moment of, oh shit, we share commonalities that we're laughing at the same fucking thing.
But that's what we try to prove when we hold a microphone, that we're all on the same fucking side.
Yes, but people don't understand that because we now live in a society of lowering the standards to evenness as opposed to a meritocracy, right? We're bringing it down and bringing it down and bringing it down to the point where like almost anybody can be. And that's not, that's one thing. And when I perform for the troops, it's one thing that I always say about the military, and I make sure to like get into this bit that I do about the military, but America's military is considered the best in the world. It's all volunteer, right? But unlike most militaries, and I know this because in Mexico and Honduras, if you want to join the military, you're pretty much in.
Yeah.
In America, they make you take this fucking test called an ASVAB test. It's not the most difficult test on the planet, but we have a standard.
Yeah.
Where we're like, listen, you want to be, you want to be a Marine and go out there, kill, you still got to be this intelligent. You want to be a soldier and go out there and do, you still got to be this intelligent. You want to be where we fly planes and you got to be this intelligent. You want to be on a boat or submarine, nuclear, you got to be this intelligent. We at least, that's an acknowledgement of, and listen, some of us are born smarter than others. It is the way it is. And I know people want to believe we're all the same. No, I'm not as smart as Stephen Hawking. And I know that's a way extreme, but I'm not. I wish I was.
But it proves the point.
Yeah. I wish I was. Now I'm not as dumb as this other guy, but I'm not as smart as that guy. And everybody can say that. Like, I remember there was this guy named Mr. KABC on ABC radio in Los Angeles. Mr. KABC. And people would call in and go, hey, how are you? Better than most. Not as good as some. I was like, fuck, what a perfect way. Yeah. What a perfect fucking thing to say. Right? And I think that everybody kind of lands somewhere in that zeitgeist. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, better than some, not as good as most. Okay. You know, but some, win some, lose some. Like, whatever that zeitgeist is for you, that's it. But it's also an acceptance of the fact that we're human beings and we have flaws. And why does everybody have to agree with you?
Why does everything have to be black and white? Why do we have to pick a side?
Yes.
Why?
But I think, but even, why is the question, but why do we have to act on it from a physical place?
Yeah. Why do we have to have opinions on the trans when we don't know if we know any trans people?
Right. And who cares? Like, for me.
And so politicians have to have this opinion with a lack of education. Mm-hmm. You know, it was start off LG and then LGBTQ, whatever.
LGBTQ AIYM plus. Like, those are all the ones that have tried or are in there.
And sometimes why? I don't know. But it's just, you know, the letters have been added over time.
Right.
And we're expected, like for example, trans, since that's a hot topic, and it's going to be something new in a year or two, some new generation of people that are going to be judged. But let's talk about trans right now. Are we supposed to accept trans immediately when it took them a lifetime to accept who they were?
That's a really good point. Seriously, that's a very, very good point.
And that's not coming from hate, and that's not coming from like that is.
It's not. It's, you know what? Speak to a trans and ask them, like, you know, it's like, when did you know? And when did you tell people?
Yeah. And is that an appropriate question to ask? Don't want to offend them. I'm willing to learn.
But sure, because if we don't know this, how can we even have a dialogue as human beings when the information required to have that dialogue isn't being given and afforded to me because you think, you know, I'm gonna, you know what? It's hurtful. And I'm saying that it's hurtful because I'm gonna make this personal. When you don't give me the information because you think I'm gonna be an asshole, because you assume that I'm gonna be a dick, because you assume that I'm gonna react negatively, that's fucked up. And let me tell you how I know this. So I wake up last week in the morning to my son's face, black and blue, with a big gash under his eye. And I literally jumped out of bed and I started crying. I'm like, what happened? And in my head, I'm like, but wait a minute. You were on your skateboard. You talked to me. You got home. I remember you got home because I saw your helmet. What the fuck did you do? Did you leave and go out in the middle of the night? Like, what happened? And he's like, oh my God, Dad, wait. So we go, so my wife comes in and she goes, oh, well, it happened last night. Don't you remember? And I go, does it fucking look like I remember? Am I showing a face of, oh yeah, I get it.
Is this fake, genuine shock?
Is this like I'm out of bed in my underwear with a heart on in front of my kid going, what the fuck happened? And they go, well, we tried to wake you up. You tried to wake me up? This happened. Did you guys go to the doctor? Well, no, we didn't. So I didn't even get to be a part of that. Why? Because we tried to wake you up, and then Amy goes, well, we woke you up, but then you were speaking gibberish, and I was like, oh, so you think you woke me up, but you know that I wasn't coherent, but you didn't wake me up to be coherent. Well, Nicholas, our 8-year-old son, and he needs sleep. I didn't want to wake him up. Oh, so you don't want to wake him up for me. And then the truth came out. Well, Dad, we didn't want to tell you because we knew this was going to happen. And then I just calmed down really calmly. Because when I get pushed to a threshold and I hit an emotional place that I know I need to really process right now.
Yeah.
I looked at him and I said, shame on both of you. Shame on both of you for this self-fulfilling prophecy. You never gave me the chance to wake up, look at my son, and show sympathy and empathy.
Compassion.
And kindness. Because I remember.
Concern.
Yes. And I told you this story. When I got cut right here and my mom slapped me and said, what the fuck were you doing? Because she was mad. And I said, so instead, you keep this from me. I wake up angry, not because your face is hurt, but because you didn't wake up your father to make a decision about how bad this is. Do you need to go to the doctor? Do I need to take you to the doctor? How did this happen? What things occurred before that? How can I be of service? How can I help you, son? That person was stabbed in the fucking face because you guys assumed I was going to be angry. And then when I got angry because of what you did, not because of what occurred, now all of a sudden you're going, you see, I told you Dad was going to get mad. That's fucking hurtful.
It's not fair.
And it's not fair for you guys to think that of us as well. And what you said, I think, should be resonated. How can you expect human beings that are not surrounded by LGBTQAIY, but specifically we're speaking of trans, how can you expect us to just see you and be completely there, completely no matter what, completely boom, when it took you years
to accept who you were.
To accept who you are. Years to be okay with what you feel. And so there, but going back to what we originally talked to, which is speech getting taken to that place and people getting canceled because of something that they say, even though it's not the line of, hey, you should go do this, you should go do that. If you want to cancel for ratings, I got you. But canceling somebody for that is also saying that that side is right. The people that are angry are right. Because I'm sure that there are a lot of people that would be supportive of Kim, that would be supportive of what he said. That would be, no, he said nothing bad. He didn't say any shit. Nothing to see here. No pasa nada, like we say in Spanish. Yeah. No pasa nada, no pasa nada, nothing to see here. Right? Their voice is real too. Why aren't we listening to that voice? But what about the people at work? What about the people that go to work and express some form of, I believe this? Whatever side it is, it doesn't matter, by the way, whether it's pro or anti-trans. Yeah. It doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't cross that threshold, why the fuck are we saying it's okay to feel this way and not that way? I think that this fucking divisional bullshit of this is okay and this isn't, when they're both right or they're both wrong, is detrimental to the health of this country.
I think where the country is lacking is wanting to learn. You have your opinion, and the best example is religion. Everybody wants to talk about their religion. They never want to hear about your religion.
Right.
I'll tell you how great my religion is. I don't want to hear anything about your religion. Well,
right.
Well, why is yours better than mine? Can I talk about why mine? And and that's how I learned what, as a kid. I didn't know Jewish wasn't a country. It's a religion.
Right.
Yes.
It is both a country and a religion.
But it's a race too?
Yeah. It's weird, right? It's a race of people, of ethnic people. It's an ethnic background and a religion.
See? It took a long time to fucking learn that.
Yeah.
And then to learn the difference between, is there a difference between Catholicism and Christianity? And I'm like, oh, it seemed pretty similar. Then you learn about Mormons or like Hindu people, or just
right. But so Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Muslim, all of those, they all have basically all religions are pretty much the same. The only difference is like who their messenger is, right? Buddha was one, Muhammad was one, Jesus is one, David Smith was one. Smith was one. So that's what changes, right?
So like in talking, like this is my take. Like, and just for this moment, we're just talking about religion.
Right.
This is my take. If there is a heaven, if there is a heaven, either one of those religions is right, or all of them are wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or all of them are right, but not with the specificity of, like, I believe that there is a God. Now, what defines what I believe God to be is probably different from anybody else. What I believe God is a connective energy that I know exists. It's the energy of when you and I walk into a room before we've even done stand-up. We're just walking through the back of the room, going into the green room. That feeling that we get where we go, oh shit, this is going to be a good crowd. This is going to be a fun night. We haven't spoken to anybody.
Yeah.
We don't know anybody, but we feel.
You feel electricity in the room.
That connectivity, that energy, vice versa, by the way. There are times when we walk into a room where we're like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Where you immediately, I've walked up to waiter or waitress and been like, hey, something happened? Because there's a fucking funky vibe out there.
Yeah.
The connective tissue between humanity, I believe that to be God. Whether it's an entity, whether it's a god with a beard that looks like Zeus, whether it's a Buddha, whether it's, Allah, whether it's whatever that is.
So you can think there's a greater God, and now he's farming it out to a Jesus and a Ganesh and a Buddha.
I just believe that those guys connected to that energy in a way that we never could. Just like you and I have connected to the energy of comedy in ways that normal people can't. Right? We can take that energy and do things with it that normal people cannot, because that's our gift. Maybe that's what their gift was, to the extreme, right? To the extreme of connective tissue. But what I don't understand is, why do I have to hate you because you believe that the solutions of the world problems can be fixed in a different way than me? You might believe that, hey, if we decriminalize cocaine, like we did with weed, and we make sure that you can buy cocaine at a place where there's no fentanyl and blah, 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 as opposed to all this. And I'm like, no, saying that drugs are okay in any way, shape, or form, blah, 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 shouldn't do it. I don't think that those two people actually hate each other.
Yeah.
I think both of them want the same thing. For people to be safe, for people to not die, for there not to be violence about this. They just differ on how to solve the problem.
And again, just because you're right doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
Well, two things can be right at the same time.
Exactly. That's
always. Like always. And this binary way of thinking today, right? You're either for trans or anti-trans.
No.
I'm kind of in the middle.
I don't have an educated opinion on that yet.
Right.
I want to.
Right. Well, yeah, and to that end, how the fuck are you if anytime you ask questions about it, you're an asshole for asking?
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious. Do you want to chop off your dick? I don't.
Yeah.
So wait, that's confusing to me as a human being. You want to?
Because maybe some do and some don't. Okay, I have more questions. I have a friend who's a trans who never wants to chop off his penis. He believes that God gave him a penis, but he's a woman. But the first time I talked to him about this, it was confusing to me. Because my concept of a woman is a woman born with breasts and a vagina and those hormones and you know what I mean and blah, blah, blah. I wait a minute. How do you want to be a woman that has a dick? Yeah.
Because my other trans friends were like, ugh, get it off of me. Get that thing off of me. And they cut it off and they have a vag, reconstructed vagina. So I understood that. You want to be a woman, you made yourself a woman. Vagina.
Does it affect me?
Got it.
It does not.
No, does not affect me in any way, shape, or form. Even when, I met one of my trans friends because they were hitting on me. And I'm going to tell you how I felt the first time I got hit on by a trans. This was honestly how I felt. Proud.
Huh.
I felt a sense of pride that somebody that was trans thought, wow, this person is a good enough, kind enough human being, open enough human being, that if I say to him, I think, you're cute, he's going to take it and accept it in the right way, whether he turns me down or not. I can do this. I can take this step.
I see it as a guy born or a girl born a dude likes a Honduran bear. That's how I take it.
Got you. Got you. I was just proud that I was approachable that way.
And because and you've met them. I have two of my closest.
But those are tweens, right?
Yeah,
This is what we were
yes,
talking about. The
yes.
tweens.
Yes.
Not with and without, and then there's some in the middle.
Two of my closest friends. They're married lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they were wonderful enough, and I had the conversation with them separately on how they knew they were lesbian. And the stories are so night and day different on both of their stories that it's just fascinating that I would want to, like, how did you know? Like a trans person, okay, please take me through the steps. I don't want to offend. I don't want, I have no hate in my heart. I promise you. I'm just curious. And if you're willing to share the story, I promise I want to listen.
Right.
Because if down the road, 6 months, a year down the road, we're performing in a trans convention, we can speak on it with absolute confidence in an educated way.
Right.
Because we don't want to hurt anybody.
No.
Anything that comes out of our mouth, the intention is never to hurt or anger.
No.
And that's what sometimes people don't get.
Yeah. And sometimes we're the sadists making the masochists happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we say shit that to the outsider, if you're watching it, like if you're watching us perform and we record something, sometimes if you weren't at that show, you might go, oh my God, this guy's kind of being a dick. He's kind of saying mean things to the audience. But the audience is laughing because they were asking for that. I did a joke that led to a joke that led to a reaction, led to this, that led me to go, oh shit, you guys don't know? Yeah. And then boom, 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 boom. Yeah. But it's kind of like watching, a woman with those high heels on the man's chest. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck why? Why? But that guy's jizzing all over the place because that's his thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or last night's show, somebody from Ireland was in the front row.
Oh, that's right.
It's a similar concept. Like, okay, can we do something with this? Can we have fun with this?
Right.
But it's no different whether Irish, gay, handicap, palsy. We can throw all these things and just shake them up, and we're gonna try to create some magic.
Right.
We're gonna try to make everybody smile.
Right.
Because we're just trying to prove that we're all the fucking same.
Correct. It's what we're trying. And look, we have to be able to open our eyes. And look, you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. But if you can come up to a place of, I get, I comprehend, I understand, I see your perspective, though I disagree with it, do I understand people that are anti-MAGA? Sure. You want to believe that this is love, this is all, this is. Do I understand the people that are MAGA? Yeah, sure. Their world has changed as well. Let's just take Los Angeles, for example. Night and day, how many taco places have popped up? Night and day, how many people speak Spanish? Night and day, there are communities where you don't even have to speak English and you can exist in every way, shape, or form and never have a problem. I can understand how the topography of a small town, in Interlaken, blah, blah, blah. How all of a sudden, you're in Interlaken, Michigan, and all of a sudden, there's a taco truck, and that changed. And the people that are like, oh my God, we have authentic tacos. And the people that are like, what the fuck is a taco truck doing in our goddamn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, perspective.
I could get all that perspective, and I understand it. I think the problem is that, Kirk, in his own way, was trying to unite America.
Absolutely.
He was trying to get all
wholeheartedly.
Americans to believe and think and feel in the same way. He just didn't do it in the way that
Somebody didn't agree with it.
Somebody didn't agree with.
I saw an old clip on how he proved Michael Jordan was the best player ever. Nothing political. But he's from Chicago, and he's doing the comparisons with Kobe and LeBron and other great players.
There you go.
I agreed with this guy 100%.
Sure.
And he sold it well.
Yeah, he was a guy that used words to sell stuff, to tell you, he wanted you to look from my perspective. Yeah. This is what I believe. But can we at least understand that he wasn't trying to hurt or to be mean? Or at least he never said, fuck these people or they're pieces of shit. You know, did he say, in this community, these are statistics? Yeah. And by the way, if those statistics are real, they're statistics. It's 1 + 1 is 2. Yeah. Why are you getting mad about that? But the arrogance of human beings today, I think, is the problem. Now that I'm thinking about this, and we're 2 episodes in, bro, I'm really believing that it is arrogance. And arrogance in a fucked up way. You know, I was talking to somebody, I was doing a podcast with somebody, and they said, you know, a lot of comedians think you're arrogant. And I go, you know, I'm self-confident and very secure with who I am. I don't believe that I'm better than anybody else. But I think that I'm misunderstood in certain ways. Because he goes, you know, would you ever bomb? I go, no, never again. And he goes, see, that sounds arrogant. And I go, okay, but that comes from a place of humility. Ask me why I'm never going to bomb. And he goes, why are you never going to bomb? Because I know I can. Because I know the day I fucking lower my guard, that's the day it's going to happen. The day I go on stage with a presumption that I'm the shit, I'm amazing, and all I have to do is talk, that's the day I'm going to eat a dick. The day I go on stage not prepared, that's the day I'm going to eat a dick. The day that I don't use every part of my being and everything I've ever learned, everything I've ever seen to make tonight the best show ever, I'm going to eat a dick. So me knowing that I'm not going to bomb isn't because I'm never going to bomb because I can't bomb. It's because I know that I will the moment I lower my guard. So it's the opposite of I'm the shit. It's I'm not the shit. I'm a normal motherfucker. And I better put my glasses on and put my shit on in order to get this thing done right because I need to prepare for this moment.
If people are paying to see us, do they want the timid version of us? Or do they want the arrogant, I'm going to punch you in the face? What do you want from me?
They want us to tell them. It's the one thing I tell young comedians, right? One of the things I tell young comedians is don't ever ask the audience, is this funny? And they go, what do you mean? And I go, we're going to record your show. And then after the show tonight, we're going to smoke a cigar and we're going to watch it. And I'm going to show you what I mean. And then we'll get to a place where they tell a joke, but it's almost like punchline is like, and I'm like, that's asking. Right there, you were asking them, do you think this is funny? Tell them it's funny. It's what you're saying, right? But it's not, to me, it's not arrogance. Because arrogance is a belief that you're superior, that they are inferior.
We're confident. Because we've been doing this for a long time.
Hugely confident.
If you and I need to change a garbage disposal in my house, guess what? I'm not so confident. I'm going to be looking up some videos, maybe hire somebody. That's not where my confidence is.
I'm calling my brother.
There is a leak. There is a leak in my house.
Albert is getting a phone call.
I'm not confident with this.
My brother Bert would be the one getting the fucking phone call going, bro, how do I change this? And he'll be like, bro, it's easy. Just get this, and that. Or he'll be like, bro, I'm just coming over to change it for you. Thank God. Right. And by the way, at this point in my life, unlike when I was much, much younger, at 25, I would have said, no. Show me how to do it. Show me how to do this. Today, I'm like, look, I got so much shit to do. So many interviews, so many travel dates, so many this. You want to do this for me? Cool. Good for you. Yeah. Next week when I'm in Brea and all your friends come, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of my part of this. You fix the fucking sink.
I remember I had a boss and he had a maid that would clean his house once a week. Mm. And I don't know, maybe it's the Mexican in me where I thought like, that's so, I don't want to use the word arrogant, but just such a, why would you hire somebody to clean your house? And he's the one that taught me. It's not about having somebody clean your house. It's what's your time worth.
Right.
So if this person can clean my house for 4 hours, where it would have taken me a whole fucking weekend.
Right.
Where I could have been on the road that weekend and in turn pay somebody that needed the money.
Right.
the cost versus benefit. And I'm like, I'm so glad you taught me that.
Right.
I did not see it that way.
Well, you know what it is? It's the same thing people that have kids go through, right? So a couple get together. They both have jobs. Boom, 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 boom. Cut to marriage. They have a little place. They're going to have a family. Once that kid is born, the question for that family becomes, do we pay somebody for daycare for our child and keep working? Or does one of us stop working and raise the child?
Yeah.
Which one of those is the more cost beneficial one, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this much. I'm going to make $32 an hour, and I'm going to pay $10 an hour for my kid to be at a daycare center. Well, I'm making $20. I'm making $22, and I got to pay, $15 is $5 an hour worth me not being there for my kid. Like, so everybody makes those decisions all the time. Those are just decisions that people that have money have more of.
Yeah.
Right? So now do I want to cook? Is that 1 hour that I'm going to spend cooking worth it? Or should I be doing this instead? Should I be writing jokes instead? Should I be creating this instead? Which one is more beneficial? Yeah, that's what we do. And yet, I think that because of this, because of billions, and not billions, but, thousands and thousands of podcasts and all these comedians and all this shit coming at you, it begins to become niche marketing. And how do you niche market? You separate them from the herd, just like a predator. And I think that people need to start getting smart and understanding, look, everybody in the world is a human that I have something in common with. My humanity. Outside of that, we all have opinions, and it doesn't make you a good or bad person. You're just different than me, and I'm different than you.
There is such a beautiful world out there beyond MSNBC and Fox News and a podcast. Then there's the real world, and that's where we learn. That's how we connect with people. That's how we realize that Mexicans aren't the problem, that Filipinos aren't the problem, that we're all in this together, and we're in this big pot of stew.
Right.
That makes this country so fucking amazing. Imagine never meeting a black person or a white person or an Asian person.
No.
Never having tried Chinese food, never tried Mexican. Never tried. Just imagine. I can't imagine a life.
No, dude, I've had dreams. Like we're in my dreams. I'm walking through America so glad and so grateful that, like you said, right now, where we are, if you and I looked at each other and said, I'm hungry, what kind of food, from what ethnicity, from what part of the world do you want? We are literally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and whatever were to come out of our mouths right now, we can go have it.
And we can fight back. No, I had that yesterday. No, I had that 2 days ago. Let's go for a different style.
Right? Ethiopian. We're going to sit down on a fucking thing and we're going to eat with our hands. Yep, there's this one place over here. Peruvian. Specifically what? Holy shit, we got specific. I mean, whatever it is that you want. And that's the beauty of it. But I can understand how for people that grew up different, who grew up with the diner down the street, you know what I mean? Where everybody looked the same. And all of a sudden they're being thrown trans and gays and blacks, and I'm not black, I'm Latino and Afro-Latino and Latinx and, Italian and Chinese and Japanese, and the difference between high culture Japanese and this is peasant Chinese, this is high-end Chinese, this is regular, this is high-end, and all this stuff, and being overwhelmed like, God damn it, I love the simple America. I understand that. Yeah. But what I love about it is the opposite. I love the fact that what you're saying is that we're completely open to whatever it is. And yes, we fight it. Yes, and we're not always the first country to get to the right place. But the majority of times we are.
Yeah.
The majority of times we would have been the first country to have a female president. Happened to not be. Others, Imelda Marcos way back in the day. And there's a Honduran president who's female. There's a Mexican president.
Mexican president.
I know.
That was historical this week.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. Crazy. A woman president. Yeah. Like, I know for a fact that the Mexicans from Mexico, especially the ones that migrate here, are way more yo soy hombre misogynistic.
Yeah.
And yet, even those motherfuckers voted for a woman before America did. So we got to check how we feel about the person on the other side, how men feel about women, how women feel about men, this whole disrespect for what other people think and feel, and disrespect to the point of where you think that causing physical harm or ending somebody's voice, not through intelligence, not through your ability to be a wordsmith and counter that human being, but to shoot them, to end that voice with that kind of violence.
Yeah.
And how would you like it? Well, it's already happening. The left has shot the right and the right has shot the left. Did it stop? By the way, I'm going to end this podcast with this fucking question. This isn't the first time somebody on the left or somebody on the right shot somebody and vice versa. All right? So people on the left have shot people on the left. People on the right shot people on the right. People on the left shot people on the right. People on the left shot people on the left. It's all happened already. Did anything fucking change? Did it become the perfect world that you thought it was going to be because you got rid of or shot or somebody's voice was silenced? Did the world change? Or from your perspective, might it even be getting a little fucking worse, especially when it comes to communicating? Maybe we should learn from our mistakes and do the fucking opposite. Maybe that's the thing that's going to unite us. Not the fucking former, but the latter. It's what you said, bro. I go back to the first episode we ever did. Stop fucking being concerned with what you get. Learn the fucking utter joy of giving, of being there for others. It's what you said. Say it again, because that was your. I'm stealing your phrase.
Oh
bro.
no, it's fine, and I love the paraphrase. But it's at the end of my life, I really hope I gave more than I took.
There you go.
That's the only way. That's the only way we're gonna progress.
There you go. If you're more concerned with giving than you are from receiving, this is gonna be a much better society.
That's it.
Concern yourself with that. This is what this podcast is about, from our perspective. You know, we have an agenda, and the agenda is to talk about things that are relevant to you. They're relevant to us too, but we want to speak in ways that can make your life better.
Hopefully make you think a little bit.
Exactly. That's the between. We'll say some shit that is funny, but in between that is the stuff, the nuggets that we want you to grasp, the feelings.
Have an opinion. Don't be loyal to Fox News. Don't be loyal to NBC. Don't be loyal to a podcast. Experience, come up with your own.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody spoon feed you information. We're not telling you what to do. We're asking you, figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out and base it on actual facts and moments in your life. It's what we all do, right? I have a friend whose uncle was shot by a black guy, so he hates black people. Do I like agree with him? Fuck no. Do I think it's rational to believe every person of one race because of one? No. As a human being who lost somebody, I've lost people in my life. Who knows the pain of losing your fucking tío that loved you? Can I understand his pain and why he turns his pain into hatred? Sure. I can understand that. So I can put that in perspective without having to, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I want to talk him down every time and go, bro, not everyone, but his emotions are catching the better of him. And I can't fight his emotions. He's feeling something real.
Yeah.
His tío's not here. So every time there's a barbecue and his tío's not there, he gets triggered and he goes back to that.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand where it comes from. And as long as we can do that and be civil about it, just be fucking civil. And tone it down when you're talking about, you're not right. It's just your opinion. It's not a fact.
Yeah.
It's just your opinion. And even though you're taking facts, you're deriving an opinion based on those facts. So it's still a fucking opinion. Listen, love, And we're getting all Jesus-y, bro. I think that in a year we're gonna have like the 10 commandments of between
Let's
the
look
last.
at number 7, Carlo.
What's number? Remember when we came up with this one? It was October of 1927. Let's go back to it. And I think that as I'm saying this in a funny way, what you said about religion, all religions pretty much quote the same thing.
Yeah.
Be nice to others. Treat them as you would treat yourselves.
Don't kill people.
Don't kill. Don't stab. Don't steal. Like, it's pretty much the same everywhere in that respect. So they're all trying to just get us to be better human beings. You know, that's all it is.
If you want to read The Secret, or you believe in karma, or you believe in the 10 Commandments, they all basically say the same.
And that's where we're going. We're not basing it off that. We're basing it off the communication that we have and the things that we do. But at the end of the day, we're kind of saying the same thing. Like, how would you like to be treated like that? How would you like to be shot because you disagree with Trump? Would that be okay? It's just see the other side with love and compassion. And if they're angry, know that they're hurt. They're angry because something fucked up happened in their lives that made them get angry. Whatever that is, talk to them. Calmly go, hey, man, you feel very fired up by this. Why?
Be open to learn.
¿Por qué? And it doesn't. Anyway, I think we made our point. I hope you.
If not, we'll talk about it again next week.
We will. I hope you give more than you receive. And if we all give more than we receive, if you look at the opposite,
the world becomes a better place.
Most of us will receive more than we got. Simple math. So if you give more than you receive, at the end of the day, we all will have received more than we got. Because if you add the math to it, that's what it is. Interesting, huh? See you next time, man. Peace.
See ya.